like Queens of the Castle, like when I got to broadcast that for the first time, like that was a really special thing because there are so many badass ladies in the DayZ community and they take a lot of shit from douchebags on the internet and usually they can give it back very well. But like, I can't imagine having to overcome that hurdle as well as all the other hurdles involved in playing this game or content creation or whatever. And then so what Ari did there to just like be like, we're just going to shine a spotlight on all these awesome content creators and just DayZ players who are women, and just like, it was awesome. Yes. And I got to broadcast the whole thing and just watch it from this bird eye view.
Welcome to Tarkov, a podcast for content creators who come on to share their stories, experiences, and advice. And today, I'm super excited. We've got AmishZed. Are you ready for a wild ride?
Am I ready?
Yeah, you're ready.
Are the viewers ready?
Oh, I don't know. Both.
Sure.
All right. Hey, well, welcome to the podcast. The way we start things off is with a few random questions. So are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So what is the best meal you make that your wife would say is your best meal?
Well, like I feel like the simple answer is like steak. I've gotten pretty good at just like grilling a steak on the grill, like a good ribeye. Yeah. But like an actual like more creative meal, I just pulled a recipe off the internet, but it's hot Italian sausage tortellini. It's really good.
Oh, nice.
And it's pretty easy to make. So I made it for her friends when we first met, and I think that's when I like bought some goodwill from her girlfriends. So
nice. And now counter that. What is the best meal she makes?
Oh my God. I mean, literally everything. Yeah. I mean, she's all about finding new recipes. Like she rarely makes the same thing twice. Yeah. Because she just always finds a new thing to check out. But she makes these enchiladas with chorizo and sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes.
That are like, yeah, and it was weird, but it's really good.
Oh, nice.
I freaking love those. So those are delicious.
All right, now when it comes to skateboarding, goofy or regular?
Goofy.
All right, and you right.
Which is, by the way, sorry,
that's okay.
I consider goofy to be right-handed, if you will.
Okay.
Like it's left-footed. Like people call it left-footed, but in my mind, I'm right-handed in everything. I'm right-handed. I kick when I played soccer when I was 2, I kicked a soccer ball with my right foot. But sideways activities, I want to have my right side, my dominant side forward. So pool, archery, skateboarding, snowboarding, I'm considered lefty, but I think it's righty. It's my right side is forward. Yeah. So I don't understand I don't really get it, but I don't know. I'm one of the only people. So.
No, I'm right there with you. I'm goofy when it comes to skating, surfing, snowboarding. But when it comes to playing hockey, throwing, writing, it's right-handed. I just don't get it. Yeah.
Well, and with hockey in particular, it doesn't make any sense because it's like, again, you're holding a stick and your right hand is at the bottom. Yeah. So like that's literally the same as archery. You go from this to this. Yeah. But this is lefty and this is righty. It makes no sense.
Wait, hang on. Archery,
me forever.
You go with which hand is forward when you're
archery? I aim with my right arm because I'm holding the bow, and I draw the string with my left arm, and that's considered lefty.
Oh, shoot.
It makes no sense to me.
That is bizarre. Okay.
And then same with pool. If you're holding the back end of the stick and you're aiming with your right, that's lefty. And again, I just don't get it. Wow. I'm aiming with my right hand.
That is wild. But, all right. Okay, so we went down this rabbit. Oh, one more thing. You're flipping through the channels. What TV show or movie are you stopping for, and it sucks you in?
Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if that's on, I'm just gonna I'm not leaving. Nice. Yeah. Any of them, all 3. I know people don't like the 3rd, but I like all of them.
All right. Let's jump into this. So, who was AmishZed before you discovered streaming? What's your background?
Well, I worked in risk control. Okay. I have to very hard hit the K because every time I say it, my chat's like wrists, as in like wrist. But I did like workplace safety stuff. I worked for an insurance broker, and they're like the middlemen for helping companies buy like workers' comp insurance.
Oh, okay.
And I was a very small department that basically helped you get a better price by having less claims.
Yeah.
But like my background was in OSHA. My degree was in occupational safety and environmental health. So.
Oh, no way. And now here you are killing people in DayZ.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know, I learned how to make them unsafe to the point that they die.
There we go.
Usually with bullets.
Excellent. All right. So I got to ask, where does the name AmishZed come from?
I live in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So pretty kind of first thing you get is Amish when you bring up Lancaster, Pennsylvania. But when I was in college, I was at a bar and this girl asked, she was like, "What are you doing tomorrow?" And I'm like, "I mean, nothing." She's like, "Do you want to make $50 and come be on the TV show Amish Mafia?" And I was like, yes, absolutely. I would love to do that. So I ended up doing, me and like actually my entire high school friend group ended up being in several episodes as like background extras with our faces blurred out. I could show you a clip actually if you care to later. It would take me a minute to find it. But that first day they dressed us up in, the buttons and the, because they don't use zippers. So like button fly and all that. And suspenders and everything. I have that would actually be a funny photo. I'll send that to you. You can like edit it in right now because it's embarrassing, but it's worth it.
Okay.
But we were doing this scene where there was a car with a bunch of kids partying in it, and me and my group got in the road in front of the car holding crowbars, pulled the people out, and then just smashed the shit out of this car.
Oh my God.
And I'm not making this up. And then a pyrotechnics guy lights it on fire, and we all run away. And that was like the first time I got to do it. I did more later on. That was nowhere near as cool. It was just like one was a party scene. We all just partied in a field by a bonfire and dressed up as Amish people.
Oh my God, that was wild.
Yeah.
And now, where does the Zed come from? Because is there some Canadian thing there? Because as a Canadian, Zed is what we call the last letter of the alphabet. Not down here though. Yeah.
So I didn't know that. I was originally AmishZee.
Okay.
And I'm sure we'll get to this at some point, but I thought that was too close to the Running Man Z.
Yep.
And I was just like, oh, this is like you can't just like literally steal that dude's thing. So I'm like, all right, Zed in my mind meant zombie.
Right.
And so I was like, okay, no AmishZee, let's do AmishZed. And I actually made like a new YouTube channel and like transferred over like the 3 videos I had put out.
Yeah.
And then only to find out that Zed just means Z, so I didn't really change anything. But in my mind, it's Amish Zombie.
Okay.
That's hence the logo and stuff,
There we go. All right, so now when did gaming start for you?
My first system was a Game Boy Pocket that I actually have over there. I could literally grab it. My dad took me and bought me that and got me Super Mario Brothers 2. I believe that was the game. Yeah. And then it was like Pokemon was like the first like real obsession. And many years later, I wanted an N64 so bad. I like saw one at a Halloween party, and my parents wouldn't let me get it. My mom didn't want me to get addicted to video games. Mm-hmm. I guess a handheld was fine. But so 3 years in a row, my grandma bought me a Nintendo 64, and my mom would return it.
No
for
way.
The first. Yeah, she didn't. She just was like, this kid is not well, and he will get addicted to this stuff. So she returned it 2 years in a row, and then finally on the 3rd year, she was like, all right, fine. And my granny gave me the N64 with Pokemon Snap and Super Smash Brothers.
Oh shoot!
And it's been downhill from there, or uphill, I guess too.
Did your mom prove your grandma wrong, saying, "Yep, look at him, he's hooked now"?
I mean, I feel like she did, but my mom is definitely like, she like thinks it's so cool what I do now. So she definitely has like come full circle and is like, wow, that actually worked out pretty well.
Nice.
And
now over the years, besides DayZ, what are some of your favorite games that like, that you look back, it's like, wow, those were good ones.
I mean, Ocarina of Time is like my all-time favorite. I think I'd have to put DayZ as my all-time favorite. Yeah. I definitely have more hours in that than anything else. The game has literally changed my life, and I have an unhealthy obsession with it, but like Ocarina of Time, like before DayZ, that was a game that I would replay like once a year.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I had in high school, I had a buddy once call me and be like, I'm stuck in the fire temple. I can't do this thing. And I just like could just from memory just walk him through it because I was that into it. But yeah, the Legend of Zelda series. I have a tattoo on my leg for Ocarina of Time. I love those.
Nice. And now, what else are you playing these days besides DayZ? Not on stream, but off stream. Is there anything you're enjoying?
Not a lot. I mean, I love streaming. I wouldn't ever give it up, but I will say it was something I heard Minder say once a long time ago about like it changes your relationship with video games, and it definitely does. I mean, when I started taking streaming seriously, I just stopped playing games, and it is a different thing. Like I don't think of it as like playing. I mean, it is playing a game, obviously, but like it's different. It's
you're creating content and entertaining.
Yeah, and you're cranking it up to 11. You're not
right.
You're not doing what I did in college and like smoking weed and playing Fallout and just like unwinding, like
right.
like so that type of gaming genuinely stopped for many years. And I would like dip in here and there. Like I remember in this house, I played Subnautica up here. That was really fun. But honestly, like other than Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, I didn't really do like casual off-stream gaming. But for Christmas, I bought myself a Steam Deck. So I've been, that's kind of helped because I don't have to be here.
Yeah.
That's like a workspace. I can be on the couch downstairs and just play a game down there. So I'm playing Fallout 4 and Assassin's Creed Odyssey I just bought. So
nice.
Catching up on those. They're not new games by any means.
Well, no, I got a Stream Deck too, and or Steam Deck as well, and I love it because now I'm playing all these games that sat in my Steam library for years that I really didn't want to sit at the computer and play. So like, it just opens up your library, and it's nice to have.
Yeah, I tried my best not to buy anything new and just play old games that have been waiting. But it is like there are some games that I'm like, I don't want to play Cyberpunk on that. I've been waiting forever to play Cyberpunk, but I'm like, I feel like I got to play that on the computer. But like, when am I going to do that? So maybe I'll have to cave and just settle for lower graphics and analog sticks.
Yep. And now, when did streaming start for you? What made you decide to hit that go live button?
Well, I actually was like kind of against the idea of streaming for a long time. I would watch The Running Man. I was really into his. My buddy introduced me to DayZ, the modded game, and I built my PC for it and played that a lot and had some. I don't really remember much of like the good adventures or anything, but I had fun and and I would watch TRMZ's videos and really like them and kind of like always thought like, oh, I could mess around and edit a video. I took an editing class in like high school, and but I would be at like the bar with my friends and I'd be like, yo, oh my God, the craziest thing happened. This guy shot me and my leg was broken and I got into a building and I managed to kill him. And like, they were just always kind of like, what the hell are you talking about? So I finally just was like, all right, I'm going to edit and put some stuff together, and mostly to like show them and kind of explain what was happening.
Yeah.
And then, of course, like none of them watched the videos either, but that was kind of the inspiration. And then after a while, things started to pick up, and I hit 300 subs on YouTube, and I was like, all right, let's try the live stream thing. But I was really against it. I was like afraid of making a fool of myself and whiffing that shot in front of an audience.
Yeah.
Which is ironic given how poorly I played yesterday, because yesterday was
we don't need
garbage
to talk
day.
about that.
Yeah. I'm going to delete the VOD. So I was like really against it. I was like, why would I want to embarrass myself live? I'll take the edited good stuff and edit it down and make it look good. But I don't know. I just decided to celebrate and hit go live. And it was just like instant. Like I was made for this. Nice. Like it was just, I have the gift of gab inherited from my mom. So just stream of consciousness talking is pretty easy, as you might be able to tell.
So it's nothing wrong with that. That's all good. It's it's your podcast. It's Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm a big podcast listener too.
So YouTube came first and actually for the whole streaming aspect.
Not by a lot, but like I said, 300 subs on YouTube. I don't know how many videos. Yeah, and then the streaming thing happened after. Yeah.
I went back in some of those old videos, like 8 years old, and the quality of DayZ was like, oh my god, it's come a long way.
Nah, but there are still the people who are like, oh, they ruined the game with the new engine. Like, it was so much better back then. I'm like, no, it wasn't. Like, you just it had its features that were good, but it was not better. Not in my opinion.
And now, since you hit that go live button, what are some of the hardest, I guess, first question is, how long have you been going live?
I think I have it on my About Me page. I think it was January 3rd, 2019. All right. The first stream. Yeah, I think so. Right. And then I think I hit partner in June or July of that year.
Oh, wow.
I'd have to check the little time. I have a milestones timeline because I know I'll forget if it is not written down somewhere.
And now, what was the hardest, or what are some of the hardest things about going live, for the last 5 years?
I mean, probably just 5 years. Probably just finding the time at first, when you're working a full-time job, and I had just moved in with my then girlfriend, now wife and mother of my child. But she's a chorus teacher, and so she has after-school activities out the wazoo, musical and marching band, and then taking kids to region chorus and weekend trips. So especially during musical season, which she just got done with last week. I mean, she just was not home. So I would wrap up work, and she would maybe come home for an hour or two and then have to go back until 9 o'clock. So I didn't really have a lot to do. So it kind of gave me that time to do that. But, then in when it wasn't musical season, finding the time was probably the biggest challenge, because I was pretty hooked right away. Yeah. And, but early on, people in my life didn't really get it. Yeah. My wife became very supportive once I explained it to her. But there was this time I was out at the bar with my friends and with DayZ, and I was they were like, oh, let's go to the next bar. And I'm like, nah, I can't. I got to stream tomorrow on Saturday. Yeah. And they're like, you gotta, you can't go out drinking because you have to wake up and play video games. What are you talking about? And it kind of annoyed me. I'm like, they just don't get that this is much more than that. And I talked to DayZ about that and expressed that to her when I got home. And from that moment on, she was like, okay, this isn't gaming. This isn't even a hobby. This is a passion. Yeah. And she was so supportive from then on out. So I had a little schedule where I would do, I don't remember what the schedule was, but I could fit in 3 to 4 streams a week, even when working full time. And luckily I worked from home, so that helped too. I could kind of fuck off at work and just stream instead, or edit or whatever. Yeah.
And now and that's something I've noticed with people who've been successful as content creators, is the importance of having that significant other, having that support mechanism, whether it's family, girlfriends, wife or whatnot. It's so important to, to help get you to that next level and take this into a career.
Yeah. I mean, there have definitely been times where I've thought not having that would just be more time to dedicate to it. But I don't think I would have been the person that I was on stream if I didn't have her in the background. Yeah. I would have, I didn't have the confidence, and dealt with a lot of mental health issues through my 20s. And eventually, I talk about it on stream a lot, just because I figure if what I went through could help somebody else, it's worth it, and I've gotten some feedback that it's helped people. But, just a lot of, it took me getting my shit together, which led to me meeting her. And if I had streamed when I was in college going through those things, there's no way I would have been entertaining. Yeah. There's no way it would have been, I don't think I would have been able to do it. I would have been too anxious, you know? So yeah, having that support structure and confidence boost definitely helps.
Yeah. And it's, the fact that you say you struggle with the mental health issues earlier, I found a lot of the creators, who try to either, try to make it, or who have made it, there's a lot of, it's so much more than just video games. It's some of the people who are grinding 10 hours on a stream, and there's no human to human contact. It's really just reading chat. That can have an effect on you over time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, and it's something I'm still honestly struggling with because, I have like a lot of, I'm still friends with like all my high school buddies, and
Yeah.
like one of them lives in my best bud since kindergarten. He lives in LA. My college roommate lives in New York. I've got my one buddy, and I actually interact with these guys probably more often through chat nowadays than in person, or even like we're getting together on Saturday to play Helldivers. So we do that every once in a while. But like all my buddies are like having families and stuff, and now I'm joining that, so I'm starting to see my one buddy Muscles, who has like two twin boys and a 3-year-old. I'm getting to see him a lot more now, but it's like, yeah, there are definitely times where it's like I'm constantly talking to people, but I'm just sitting in this little nook alone. And it's socializing, but it isn't the same as getting a beer with your bro. It's just not the same.
Yeah.
So that can be very taxing. I've had to like make efforts to try to get out more and see people and whenever I can,
Yeah. And now over this journey you've taken, now that you've taken this full time, was there any moment, or was it just gradual increase in viewership that you were able to get to a point where, I could do this full time?
It was gradual until there was like a pretty big spike. And, I mean, I hate to say it, but like if it weren't for COVID, I don't know if I would have gone full time. I hate to say that I benefited from it, but I'd be lying if I didn't.
Many
say
people
that.
have.
Like, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people took that as an opportunity to be like, screw working for the man. I'm going to try to not open my bakery is a bad example, but like, you know what I mean? Try to do something that I'm passionate about. I was streaming and growing. And as I mentioned, I hit partner in like June or July of 2019. Yeah. So, it was only like a couple months later that everything was going to shut down. Things were still progressing steadily and still growing. So then it was like March of 2020, everything shut down. And again, I had this job, this work from home insurance job. And I was incredibly lucky that my clients, I had hospitality clients, I had colleges, all things that just closed down. And there was some work on like, how do we bring people back? And there were some things to do. But I mean, I went from working 40 hours a week to maybe 20. Yeah. But I was really lucky that I was still getting paid. So it really freed me up, and I could edit all day. And I started doing 12-hour streams every Thursday because I could grind on Wednesday, get all my work done, have a pretty easy. I had this setup with like an L-shaped desk. I had my gaming computer and then I had my work computer, and I would pull up my email and just have my email there and stream. And if an email came in and it was urgent, I'd get to it. If not, I saved it for Friday. Right. So that timing definitely worked. And I kind of saw the opportunity and really committed to it at that point. And we bought this house, we moved here, again, all during COVID. We got married, very busy. Wow. Yeah. We did a backyard wedding. And then we ended up doing a big wedding later, but, so then I guess it would have been like 2021 or so. Again, I have this on my milestones. Yeah. It had to be 2021 because this is the 4th year I've just started. Everything was starting to ramp back up, and things, my job was really ramping up. My boss was giving me new clients, and I like my boss a lot. We still talk sometimes, and I do contract work for him occasionally. And I was like, this isn't fair. I can't be taking this client. I might be quitting in like a month or figuring out a part-time situation. Yeah. So I just like had a frank conversation with him and like, here's what I've been doing. Lied my ass off. It was like, I never did this during work hours. Never. No. And just like kind of said, like, could we figure out a part-time situation? And basically we settled on, he'll hire me to do like a school inspection here or there. Yeah. And he'll have me do a Campbell soup and like lockout tag out work here and there too. So it was nice to have that side hustle, even though it hasn't really been all that lucrative. But it's just like, I have on the resume that I've done contract work in case this ever crashes and burns. Yeah, it's a safety net. Yeah. Which, I'm all about safety in the workplace. That's so, right. Very important. Fall protection, man. You need it. 4 feet.
since first went live, what have been some of the highlights for you that really stick out?
Oh, there's too many to actually list them all. I'll miss something, and there's somebody who's gonna be like, how did you not mention this? But like, like winning some events was really cool.
Okay.
Like I remember winning Run Die Retry, which was an event hosted by Spaggy, who is like one of the DayZ old school DayZ legends and still hosts really cool vanilla servers.
Oh, cool.
It was the anti-event. The event was like just chaos and just have fun and go to the Tizzy Tower and 2 people on there win. And I won that like twice. I was on a team that won a True Colors event. So like things like that stand out. Obviously like the big milestones of like, 50,000 YouTube subscribers and follows on Twitch.
Yeah.
But like, I think like the biggest monumental like fun moments have been like the open community things that we've done. Like just like really fun to like actually put voices to usernames, and just like kind of mess around in the game. Like we took this, I don't know how much you know about DayZ, but there's this Deer Isle bunker. And back then it was like the only bunker. It was, now there's a bunker on every modded map. But we had a huge group of people. We had like 30 to 40 people, and we all set off to go to this underground bunker and explore it. And we just had like a hilarious, ridiculous adventure all the way, just like laughing and having fun. By the end of it, I think 3 people made it out of the bunker. So we just lost people along the way. One of my mods actually died because I threw an uncon grenade at a group of people by a bonfire, and he fell into the fire and just died. So, but it was just like those type of things have just been like so much fun. They're kind of stressful to organize, so I don't do them as often as I should, but like, they're just, those are the moments that like really, I think back fondly on,
And then thinking back, you look at like some of the things you mentioned 50,000 subscribers on YouTube and, building your own community. Did you ever think that, this is where you'd be right now?
Oh God, no. No. Like I said, like in my 20s, like I was just lost, man.
Yeah.
Like I just, like I graduated high school and like people told me you're supposed to go to college. So I went to college, and people told me I should pick a major. So I was like, all right, I like chemistry, I guess I'll pick that.
Yeah.
Like I just like was so like all I wanted to do was play video games and hang out with friends and skate. Like I had no, like I've probably in the back of my head, I didn't even think I'd be like alive at 30. So like I was like not really like had no direction, and it was just all people tell me I have to do this, so I'll do this. And like rolling the dice and like finding streaming and like being like, okay, this is something that I think I can do. And not only is it something I think I can do, but like this is something I want for like the first time in my life. Like this is, people who want to be a doctor feel this from the beginning, I guess. But like I was like, this is something that I want to achieve. I want to get that purple check mark. And like I lost my goddamn mind when I got it.
Oh, no way.
But it was in my spam email too, so like I like didn't even know for like a week when I had it. So yeah, I mean, I'm like rambling, so I almost forgot the exact question, but
it's all good.
The
highlights,
that goal was just insane. Like it was just like it was a whole new world, and like I don't know what it's like to be a normal person with goals, I guess, because I never had that until 25. Honestly.
And talking about the getting the purple check mark, so that was that was a goal for you wanted to get, and like you were just saying, you found it in your spam mailbox. What was your reaction?
I'm not a tough guy. I think people can tell that. I'm a heart on my sleeve kind of guy. I'm pretty sure I like welled up. Like I got emotional. Like it was, again, it was like it meant way more to me than graduating college or high school or any of that. Like it was the first thing that I was like, I want this in life, and I actually achieved it. So it was a big deal. I remember calling Lady Zed like immediately after, and like I don't think it was a little bit of like a letdown, because it's like no one in my real life could understand what it was, and but she was very much like, oh, that's amazing, congratulations. Like she knew I was working towards it, you know, but but it wasn't like, you know, it wasn't like I was walking down the aisle accepting a diploma and people were applauding.
Right. It's like mom and dad were like, what?
Yeah. I don't even know if I told my mom back then. It took a while for me to tell her about what I was doing and how it was growing and how I was going to quit and stuff, you know?
And now for those people who are thinking about, you know, hitting the go live button, any advice for them? What would you suggest how they approach it?
I mean, I hate to say like, just do it, but just do it. Like, cause again, like I hesitated for so long and once I did it, I was like, oh, this is great. Like I didn't even have a good first stream. I put together, as in like, I didn't have good gameplay. Like I put together like a little like montage video. I believe it was set to "I Had the Time of My Life," that song. I think I did that. You know, like I was just like so nervous about it, but once I did it, I was like, this is amazing. It's just so fun to like play the game and then be able to chat with people. And I was lucky I had viewers for the first stream because they were coming over from YouTube. Yeah. So as far as advice goes, I mean, I can only speak on my experience, but I would say start on YouTube. I think that's better for discoverability. Yeah. Or maybe TikTok or whatever. I'm sure there's like Instagram too. But like start somewhere where your content can just live and people might find it passively. And then when you get to a certain point, for me, it was 300 subs on YouTube, make an announcement. And, you know, there's a community tab on YouTube now. So you can say like, or I put in the beginning of a video, like I am going to try streaming on Twitch on Tuesday, you know, the 25th at this time. Would love to get to know you guys in, you know, live. Yeah. So I had like, you know, 3 to 6 viewers for my first stream. So I'd say that is huge. You know, like people get stuck in that like 1 to 2 pit forever. Right. So starting off, you know, out of that really was a jump start, you know? Yeah.
And a lot of people I've had on talk about having, you know, regretting not doing anything with YouTube to begin with, because YouTube, like you were just saying, it works when you're not live.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I genuinely like there are a lot of people I admire who have done insanely well on Twitch and do YouTube like as a side thing, or not at all. But like, you know, like Happy Bombs, he doesn't do a lot of YouTube, but he's done insanely well on Twitch, and Joito as well. And they both have like dabbled in YouTube, but it has never been their, I don't think it was how they got started. They grew on Twitch, and I genuinely like don't understand how you can do that without, I feel like you have to, but that's just my experience, you know? But yeah, that part kind of boggles my mind how you would do that. It's just hard to just get discovered on Twitch.
It is impossible. And that's what's going to lead me into a question. Like how, you know, you do YouTube, do you do TikTok as well?
I like was trying to focus more on YouTube Shorts and TikTok for a while. And one of my mods, Abominable Donkey, he made me like 2 YouTube Shorts that did like really, really well. He's an actual editor and has done an incredibly good job with those. But I like would be like, oh, I don't feel like editing a 45-minute video. Let's make a 1-minute short. And I'd sink like 2 hours into it, putting subtitles and quick cuts and keeping it moving. And then I just wouldn't get any return on that investment. So I've just kind of like, I would do as well just taking a clip unedited of just like a quick kill as I would putting those 2 hours into all that stuff I mentioned. So I'm just like, it's not worth the time for me. I just, if there's a cool moment, now Twitch has like, they can do the vertical editor for you, and so easy to do. So I just do that. Now it's just simpler.
Yeah, it's so, I don't want to say infuriating, but like you said, you spend so much time on a short and then you just do a clip and that one gets like it's just there's no logic to it.
I mean, it's the same way with edited stuff on YouTube. Like you can bust your ass doing like, you know, a cinematic introduction and like just like what you think is like the best thing you've ever put out there, and it can perform worse than an unedited 6-hour VOD you put up. Right. You know, like I wish I understood it. Some people definitely have it figured out and just can kill it on YouTube. Yeah. I'm more of a slow and steady. I'm enjoying doing it still, but you know, I've never figured out that way to blow up on it, but I'm thrilled with where I'm at. Don't get me wrong, you know.
It's fantastic. You're like 50,000 viewers or what? No.
Well, on YouTube it's like we're getting close to 75,000
Yeah.
subs, but I want to get that silver play button. I'm throwing my college diploma in the garbage and I'm hanging up the silver play button. I'm going to literally put it right there.
Nice.
Someday. It might take a while though.
When it comes to your YouTube content, how do you approach your videos? Do you have, do you take just like a live, one of your VODs and piece together something? Or do you have a mission when you go to create your VOD? Okay, today I want to focus on doing something like this.
I've never gone in with a plan. I've always just played the game. If something cool happens, can I turn it into a story?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the way that was the stuff I like to watch. I've never, and this is not throwing any shade because I'm, but I see these videos and they do insanely well. And it's like, I ran the biggest drug cartel or I raided the craziest base. And I'm sure those are great, but they were just never my style. I watched The Running Man and he just was a fresh spawn and would shit talk geared players in Trinaris. And I was like, this is hilarious. Like, this is amazing. And that's just what I like to do. I just play the game. If something cool happens, I just want to try to tell a story out of it. Yeah. I have had a lot of fun, like realizing there's a theme, for example, where I'm like, oh, I have 3 clips where I wipe a 3-man squad. Why don't I make a video called The Tale of 3 Squad Wipes and show off the 3 different lives, but I can turn it into a cohesive thing. And I actually made that like a silly little fairy tale, like rhyme scheme narration over it. Yeah. It's goofy, but it was fun.
Nice.
And that the only time that I did go in with a plan was when they introduced achievements in DayZ. And I was like, oh, this could be a really cool video. Like I could make a video on 100%ing the game.
Yeah.
So I was working towards achieving those goals through like a couple weeks on stream and just took the fun moments and broke it up into each Chivo, as I called it.
Nice. And now, as a new parent, and congratulations, welcome to the club.
Thank you.
How are you doing, as a, full-time creator, now balancing being a dad, husband, and being a full-time content creator at the same time? How are you, how's that going?
It's been a little tough. Things are staying steady so far. I wouldn't say that I've seen like a significant drop in like any of the numbers that are boring to talk about.
Right.
But time is definitely dropping. Lady Zed, again, she's a teacher, so she had her FMLA, and then we decided that she should just take the whole semester off because we had the baby over the summer. It didn't make sense to come back mid-semester.
Yeah.
So she's like, I'll take unpaid leave for like 2.5 months and I'll just come back for the second semester. So for the first 6 months, I took 2 weeks off and did nothing. And then to be honest, I kind of got the itch and I was like, it wasn't like for like dire need in terms of like paying the bills. I was I want to get back to work. I love doing this. So I slowly went back into it. Had 6 months where I was full-time streaming and Lady Zed was full-time mom, just absolutely killing it there. And I was obviously helping.
Yes.
But like you said, I was full-time streaming, and now she's back to work and I'm probably a full-time dad and a part-time streamer.
Right.
The new schedule is kind of like, every other Monday, I have a grandma to help me babysit and I can edit on a Monday.
Yeah.
And then I get to do usually 2 evening streams and then 2 daytime streams. So I used to do 5 and a video and an edit day. Now I'm down to 4 and maybe an edit day. So, but more evening streams. And, I'm just lucky that I have Team Grandma helping out for Fridays. And and then I stream on Saturdays when Lady Zed's off. So
nice. And now, streaming at night, do you notice a difference in the crowd when you're doing a night stream versus a day stream?
People behave the same way. It's still the same group of misfits and goofballs that I always am sharing my time with. But I feel different. I feel like I'm weirder at night because I'm like kind of tired. But I don't know how people do like the overnight, like Smoke streams at like 2 a.m. because he's my time zone. He does like 2 a.m. to like 9 a.m. I'm like, you're insane, dude. Yeah. Like, I did the third shift when I worked at a gas station grocery store thing, and it drove me nuts. I never slept. But yes, I want to keep DayZ has off for the summer, and then we're putting babyzed in daycare come August, so I'll have a lot more time. But I still want to keep at least one evening stream a week, because there are a lot of people who are like West Coast and they're like just getting off work and like, oh, I can actually catch you live for once. And I'm, it's nice to hear that there are people who like have been missing out and are excited to catch me. So I want to keep it going a little bit.
Absolutely. And the other thing that's, I've talked to a lot of creators about is, being a full-time creator, trying to balance in some vacations or dealing with sick days. That's a tough thing to sort of fit into your schedule as you're trying to grow or maintain your viewership.
Yeah, it is terrifying to take time off, at least at first. I'm getting better with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you genuinely are just like, are people going to come back when I come back after a week off? Or are they going to have spent that week watching someone else in that same time slot and just be like, I like this person better? That was really tough. And it was something I struggled with. And because I was struggling with it, DayZ did, because she wanted to go and travel in her summers off. And I'm like, I can take a week and that's it. I've definitely gotten better with it, because the times that I've done that, I've come back to, usually there's like people go crazy. They're like excited to see you again, and I've definitely kind of lessened up on the stress factor there, because I've just been doing it longer. I'm like, I'm now a month into my fourth year full time. So you get a little more comfortable in what you're doing at that point. But that first year, man, like I didn't want to miss a single day. Like you were just terrified to take any time off.
Yeah. And like you said, you've been fourth year now, you're established, you have your community, and people are coming to watch you because of what you've built and the type of stream you put out there versus, everybody has their unique way of streaming, and you've got that community that likes, the way your personality and how you approach the stream.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, I like spending time with them. So,
and now, for DayZ, you talked about it earlier that, one of your friends sort of got you into it. What was that path to DayZ?
It's so funny. This guy, he's been one of my friends for a very long time. But he and I don't agree on anything. Like we seriously don't agree on a goddamn movies. Well, I mean, I like a lot of the music he likes, but he's more of a music guy than I am. Like we don't agree on anything. But when I like dropped out of Temple and I was living at home, I was really into The Walking Dead. I like caught a marathon for the first season because season 2 was coming out. Yeah. And he was a PC gamer. I had a PS3 and a Wii. And he was like, oh, if you like zombies, you should check out this modded game, DayZ. It was only a mod back then. And I went over to his house and I played it, and I was horrified. I literally was on my stomach crawling everywhere I went because I was like, there's a zombie over there. There's a gunshot in the distance. Like I was too afraid to do anything. And I was like just the concept of this, there was nothing like it. I was like, it's just a world that I can live in and survive in, and every other human being there's no NPCs that aren't zombies. Like every other person is a person, and I can rob them or I can team with them. Like it just blew my mind that this like virtual reality world existed to play in. So I built a PC to play the mod. Standalone came out. And then about, I don't know how long after that, but I'm making YouTube videos for Standalone, and there's a free to play weekend at some point. And that buddy, I'm like, you should try DayZ now. Like I'm addicted to it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know that you didn't like it. You liked it conceptually, but you didn't actually like playing it. He's more of a COD guy. He wants quick respawn, kill. He loves Helldivers right now. He's digging the hell out of that. But, I'm like, you should try it. Like, just join me and I'll show you the ropes. So we spent the entire day just him spawning in. I'm like, what do you see? He's like, I see a church on a hill. And I'm like, okay, that's Electro. I'll try to get to you.
Yeah.
And just we never even got to run together. The whole day was just trying to meet up and then getting killed. Horrible day. I don't think he's played DayZ since.
Oh no.
But that inspired me to start making loot route guides to help people learn the map, which is what really helped my channel take off. So I owe this dude, and I give him credit to his, I give him credit all the time. I owe this dude for introducing me to DayZ, helping me build my PCs, and for giving me the idea for loot route guides. So like I would not have the channel if it weren't for him. So shout out Alex.
Well, it was funny. I had Arriana on. She was the first DayZ creator on.
She's awesome. I've looked up to her forever. She's just like so active and like touches everything with events, and she's great. Yeah, she deserves partner. I'm so
absolutely.
Still annoys me to this day about that.
100%. Such a good person for the community. So she was on, shared her story, and she described DayZ as everything it's an adventure. And I hadn't played DayZ. It sat in my library for probably 5 or 6 years. I'd never touched it. After having her on and hearing the excitement she had in the game, I fired it up and I was hooked. It was so much fun, and it truly is. You don't know where you're going to be going, and it is truly an adventure. You don't know what you're meeting or who you're running into or anything.
Yeah, it's just like anything can happen. Like, and you just never, I mean, you're obviously limited in like what, features there are in the game, but like, you can just be having the absolute worst day where you just like ran for 5 hours and then you just got shot in the head because you stood in a tree to look at your map, and then, rinse and repeat that over and over and over again. But then on that, if you're willing to hit respawn one more time, the next thing you know, you meet like, I don't know why this one popped in my head, but you meet like a group of people who all call themselves Toby, and they're calling these plums. Oh, what did they call it? A doink. They were like, you must consume the holy doink. And you're like these were guys on DayZ Underground. Yeah. I made a video on it, but like, you just like, if you hit respawn one more time, you never know what type of weird people you're going to meet or what type of crazy adventure you're going to have. And that's just the fun of it, you know?
And now, is that the hook it has on you many years playing it, or what is the hook that DayZ has?
Well, I don't think I'd play DayZ the way I play it if it wasn't for streaming. Because it's like a lot of downtime. It's just a lot of running and just listening to the birds and looting and not finding the ammo for the gun that you have and all that. So the fact that I can just like shoot the shit and talk to people during that I think it's a perfect streaming game for that. It's just, I don't know how you'd stream and play Call of Duty, because you could catch up in between rounds, but like when you're playing, there's too much going on. So like it's perfect for just like casually chilling out, and then you hear a gunshot nearby and you're like, oh, okay, I gotta focus, and you get into it,
Yeah. I came from the Escape from Tarkov space, where that's, a lot of my creators who I've had on, it's a great stream, great game to stream for those downtimes. But then playing DayZ, it's an even better streaming game, because like you said, you got these big, running and paid, chat with chat while you're doing your thing. And like you said, you hear a gunshot. Okay, now you can, focus.
Oh, yeah, I admire that. I really like EFT. I love watching EFT streams. It's just like, I actually was my main game for a time before I did any content create. DayZ was in a bad spot, and I got into it a bit, but like just never latched into me the way DayZ does, Like at least when I'm learning DayZ, I'm learning while playing. I feel like Tarkov, it's impossible to learn that game without looking up YouTube guides.
Yep, when you're first
starting.
It's
just... Yeah, like and maybe it's gotten better with that, where you can play the game and learn as you go. But it's like, I just was like, okay, where is Z813 extract, and why is that different from Z139 extract? Like, I just like could never get hooked into it. But I love watching it. I love watching people who know what they're doing play that game. It's so good.
It really is a game. The pucker factors, I haven't figured. No other game scratches that itch like that does.
Yeah, those are the two that give you that pucker. Like you're just heart racing, like. Just insane, that adrenaline rush. Yeah.
And now a second ago, you mentioned sort of DayZ was in a rough space, for somebody who's mained the game. And how do you deal with those moments or those periods where the game may be struggling? Just battle through?
I mean, I just bitch and moan, just complain, yell, and scream, get really, really annoyed. But I mean, like, it almost sounds weird, but like DayZ's a game where it's like if it was ever a perfect game, it like wouldn't be the same. Like if I wasn't gonna like just walk into a town and see a zombie on a roof, I'd be like, wait, like I don't know, it'd almost be like a little sad, and I'm gonna regret saying that tomorrow when I get stuck in a door because of inertia and 7 zombies beat the hell out of me, you know? But like it's almost part of its charm a little bit. But I didn't really live through some of the time, like Running Man talks about it occasionally. Like there was a time when there was like 2,000 concurrent players in DayZ, and like he was a full-time streamer. I was like, am I gonna be able to do this? Like I wasn't really, I was playing the game, but I wasn't relying on the game during that time. So, you know, but I remember the hand state bug, and I remember like the one, what was going on in like 1.0 there, I think that was hand state bug, where it was like borderline unplayable because you just had to log constantly because you couldn't hold anything, you know. Like I remember some of those bugs, and when it wasn't a job or a very you know, intense hobby, I just would play a different game for a while and come back, you know. Now I don't really think I have that choice. But I mean, I could play something else for a while, but I wouldn't be able to pay the bills for long.
And now, you know, with the game, to me, it seems like it has, over the last maybe year and a half, a resurgence. It's just gotten more popular. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, all-time high player count, like month after month. It's insanely cool to see.
Yeah.
And yet there's still people on Twitter who are like, this game is dead. And I'm like, you are an idiot.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it's just insane, man, what modders have done with it. I still just, because a lot of people say that the modders are keeping the game alive. They are Frankensteining it into like something incredible, but like and Frankenstein's not even the right term, but like they're turning it into something incredible. But like the vanilla game is amazing now compared to what it has been at times. And like Sumrak in particular taking over, he has really improved the game so much, and everyone on the team, I'm sure, but like he definitely took it in a direction that I think was really good. And I mean, it's insane that we're still getting updates. Like there's a roadmap for 2024, and they're talking about like an exotic rifle and a more complex medical system. And I'm like, I bought this game 10 years ago for $25. Like it
doesn't owe you
nuts.
anything. Yeah.
And like they did one DLC, and that's it. Like it's like if they were smart or more concerned about making money, they would have abandoned it a long time ago and put all their resources into Arma Reforger and Arma 4 and hopefully someday DayZ 2.
Yeah.
But instead, they're still, you know, like they're still selling new copies by adding new content, and you know, it's just insane. And like the events that people host, like Happy Bombs and Arriana, and so many people, new battle royale mode, like
it's
like,
just saw that.
Yeah, it's really fun. You should check it out. It's hard to get into a server, but it's a lot of fun.
Ooh.
But yeah, it's constantly changing, and new things are always inbound. So it's great. It's always fresh.
It is, yeah. And so you speaking of events, now I finally have you on after Joito and Happy Bombs. The ish.
By the way, By the way, those two in particular helped me out during that. I think we were talking about this before you started recording. During the yoga ball bouncing sessions of keeping babyzed asleep, I would lay my phone on the edge of her crib, and I'd be holding her, and I'd be bouncing her to sleep. And I watched both of those podcasts, which was really cool. It was cool to listen to the Happy Bombs one, because I guess I knew Joito better, and I was like, it was just cool to see my friend on. But Happy Bombs, I was like, wait, this guy skateboarded? Like, he used to skate? What? Like, it was cool to learn about him. So anyways, they were entertaining. Thank you for keeping me awake at night when I needed to be up.
Excellent. I'm glad they helped. I'm glad somebody's enjoying them. But now the ish sliders, you know, everybody's talked about, you know, the controversy of the ish sliders, and now I have the creator, the troublemaker, as Happy Bombs like to say.
Listen, all right. I gotta be very careful here, because I feel like this is gonna be used in like my trial someday. But it really got blown out of proportion. I was actually on a team for True Colors. I was on Joito's team, and we were in a fight in zone 2 and we got separated. And I was all by myself in a massive event where there are like groups of 8 players. And these aren't just Joe Schmo players. These are like really good, scary players. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm alone at like the Paris Island on Deer Isle. All right. I get in the zone, and back then ish the sliders were quiet. So yeah, I'm alone. I might be fighting an 8-man squad. I put on the quiet slippers. Sue me. and Happy Bombs was like broadcasting, and he coined the term ish sliders. Yeah. And then, you know, I maybe I gave him too much credit, but the devs put it in the what's it called? The community spotlight. Which I remember a day when getting mentioned in the community spotlight was cool and awesome. And now they're busting my balls in that thing.
Oh, excellent. I'm glad you were on to share the story.
I used them one time, and frankly, I was always on the train that they lasted too long. I think they should still be quiet, but they should only last like a minute of walking. It's just, I think that they're loud as boots is silly to me, but it's just, they needed to be nerfed back then for sure. I agreed with that.
And speaking of the game, you know, are there any flashbulb memories you have of like some event or some moment in DayZ is like, wow, I can't believe that happened?
I mean, there again, it's like if I miss one, you know, there's a lot of recent stuff. Like I have been having so much fun with the game. Yesterday aside, yesterday was rough. I've been having so much fun with the game recently. Like I just am like constantly like saving footage and putting it in a folder on a hard drive. And I'm like, I got to get to editing this at some point because it's freaking incredible. Like I still have this footage of this time these guys took me and a bunch of fresh spawns to the Livonia bunker and tried to trap us in there. So we'd have to kill each other to escape. Like, and like, I mean, I think though that really what it comes down to, like the fondest memories are the community events. Like, you know, just those like moments, you know, like Queens of the Castle, like when I got to broadcast that for the first time, like that was a really special thing because there are so many badass ladies in the DayZ community and they take a lot of shit from douchebags on the internet and usually they can give it back very well. But like, I can't imagine having to overcome that hurdle as well as all the other hurdles involved in playing this game or content creation or whatever. And then so what Ari did there to just like be like, we're just going to shine a spotlight on all these awesome content creators and just DayZ players who are women, and just like, it was awesome. Yes. And I got to broadcast the whole thing and just watch it from this bird eye view. And it was just like, just intense. I got to edit like a full video of my perspective and all the first person perspectives of the kills. Yeah. Cause they all let me use their footage. And like, there's like a montage at the beginning of it. And it like kind of gets me emotional seeing it. Like, cause it was just like this special moment in DayZ for me. And it was just like really cool. I met so many, like, I think that's where I met Foxy and Nika. Not, at least that's when I became like more like friends with her. And eventually we started teaming up. I definitely knew who she was before that. And like, I think like Holly Rex came on around then, and like all these like just absolutely incredible creators that some people hadn't heard of for whatever reason. And then they just like, you know, have done insanely well. And that was a cool event. That was a really special one.
Yeah, I think it was.
But there are so many as well that I haven't even named.
I think that was the first time I actually heard you, because I was, you know, just doing some research on Arriana before she was coming on, and it's like, who is this character who's, you know, doing this cast? It's like, so then it's like, okay. And then, but your whole community, like, you know, Happy Bombs, Echo, Arriana, there's so many wonderful people in this. Your DayZ community is fantastic. Yeah,
I think it's special. I mean, there's obviously like going to be trolls everywhere. That's like, but like, I mean, like I almost don't want to like shout it out because I don't know if they would be embarrassed either party, but like, there was a person who had to get like a surgery for cancer, and another streamer was just like, oh, I'm just going to raise a bunch of money for that. And just like, boom, just did it. Like not asked, didn't want, like just did that. Like that is the community that I'm interacting with. Yep. There are absolutely little pockets of it that are just horrible and just like any mass group of people. But like Like that is I'm playing with the people who are like lifting each other up and just like absolutely. I mean, we will do horrific things to each other in game. Absolutely, like commit war crimes to each other in game, but outside of the game, everyone's just like hugs and kisses, and it's really cool. I'm so grateful to be a part of it. Like, it's just wild to get to play with guys like OG, who I was like watching forever. And then I'm like, and now I just like play with him every Friday, and I like bust his balls all the time. It's like, it's like really cool that I get to be a part of it, you know?
Absolutely. And, and all these people from all over the world, like, Joito spoke so nicely of you, and just, you guys seem like you have a good connection.
That's not true. There's no way she spoke nicely of me. She at least had to say some other shit as well. Like, there's no way she said it without a caveat.
No, there's those. Don't worry, she was busting on you, but here she is. She sent gifts to babyzed, and
oh my god, that photo I posted on Twitter of babyzed wearing the frog onesie. Because I called her Frog when she was in utero.
Yeah.
That was from Aunt Jo. I love that onesie. It's so cute.
But it just goes to speak to the character of people that you run with and that are in your community.
Yeah, and Jo's a perfect example of it too, because she is. I never join her stream and she's not raising money for some charity. She always has a charity, usually for cats.
Yeah.
But she always has. Sometimes she also tries to help human beings out too. But she just is always raising money for some group that needs it.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a real one. Like, she also hosts, like, has 2 stream teams now. She took over the Survivors when I stepped back because of babyzed.
Right.
And, yeah, she's an incredible person.
And
Don't ever tell her I said that, though.
No, we'll delete that. She'll never hear this.
Cut that out.
And now, speaking of community, how would you describe your community?
I call them misfits and goofballs. I think that checks out. But they're I mean, oh god, I'll get like emotional if I go too far into it, but they're freaking incredible. Like, they give me such a hard time. They really do. But they're so much fun, man. They just like I just thought of a joke that somebody told me yesterday that I don't think you'd want on the podcast. But like, they just are hilarious and insanely generous, like, in terms of like of just like supporting me and letting me do this for a living. And like, like when the Partner Plus thing came out, like, people were gung-ho to get us through that, and then we're also gung-ho to get other people to that level as well.
Nice.
Like, we would raid someone and I'm like, oh, they're working towards Partner Plus. If you can tier 1 sub for 3 months, you will be giving this person a raise for the whole year. Like, you have no idea how big a deal this is. And like, they were just gung-ho to help everyone out with it. And just, I don't know, just like amazing, really, really fun people who genuinely make me want to punch a wall sometimes because they nuts me 5 times a day. And yeah, but I think my favorite part about the community is every once in a while I'll get like a DM from someone who's just like, I've been going through a really hard time. The streams have helped. And like, that is just like the best thing ever. Nice. I really wish I had like saved all those messages, but that when they come in, it's really special.
Nice.
Yeah.
And now, if somebody's coming into your stream for the first time, how would you describe your stream? What are they expecting?
What are they expecting? These nuts jokes. They, I mean, I don't know. I mean, people give them a warm welcome. I really like that. That like, like you get to a point where I don't want to call it like a script, but you have like a routine in the way that you thank someone for a sub or whatever. And whenever there's a brand new sub, I'm always like, guys, let's give them a warm welcome. And like, we really get that. And now there's like a thing where it says first time chatter, and like my mods who are just, why do mods, they go from these kind, really like helpful viewers, and then the second you give them a sword, they just like unleash the troll. and they're still very helpful and really, really great, but it's like they just let loose all of a sudden. It's just it's wild. But my mods will be so good about like, there's a first time chatter and like, hey, welcome in, Nice. And so I like to think it's welcoming, for a first time viewer. But you know, I've been told, I've been told that my voice can be off-putting, especially when I'm excited. Like I can get high pitched.
Yeah.
And we actually had a message, and I wish I had it in front of me because Ahmad screenshotted that. But somebody said, he said, I've tried watching your YouTube videos and I couldn't get into it because of the voice. But I'm glad I caught you live because I enjoyed the stream so much I got past the voice. And I'm just like, that is either the best compliment I've ever received because my content is good enough to overcome that.
It's like a backhanded compliment.
Yeah, it's like negging. It's like I'm gonna put out on a date because of it. Like just, you know, but I choose to take it as a compliment.
All right.
You know,
that works.
Yeah.
So now, you know, when you're not streaming, you know, you got dad duties, your husband duties. What do you enjoy when you have a moment where you're not creating content and you got an hour to do something totally on your own?
Well, now that babyzed is napping really good during the day, I've been watching a ton of movies, which is fun. Really cool. I listen to way too many podcasts. Yeah. I don't even listen to music anymore. All I listen to are podcasts. And like, if I watch an episode of TV, I listen to like 5 hours of podcasts for every 1 hour of the TV show.
Yeah.
It's sick. So that's nice. I like that. Skateboarding when I don't have a broken wrist.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope. Getting back into that finally after like a year off. I broke it back in April.
What were you trying anyway when you broke that?
It was so simple. It was an axle stall. I literally like it. I was in Rochester, New York for a conference for DayZ when she was pregnant. Oh. She was due 3 months later. And I wasn't even going to skate that day. I was like, I'll swing by the park, see what it's like. I'll skate tomorrow. I'm going to go to the brewery I want to check out. I'm going to read and drink. I should have gone out drinking, but I was just doing an axle stall, and there was this college kid who wanted to film people at the park.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not that good. I don't get filmed very often, but he was filming like I was a pro skater and could be 6 inches away from my feet and then move out of the way before I hit it.
Okay, yep.
So I like drop in on a bowl. I go to the other side. I do an axle stall.
Yeah.
I look back and he's got his camera like on the coping.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, I didn't know he was. All right. I'm like, all right. So I'll do another axle stall. I'll drop in. I'll roll away. So literally repeating the same trick that as I'm thinking this, I'm in the process of doing. And he just moved out of the way so last minute that my back trucks didn't lock in. So I just slid down and just caught myself and broke my wrist in 3 places.
And then you had to call your pregnant wife and say...
No, I limped back to the hotel carrying my board, a bag with like books and all, because again, I was like going to have a day out in Rochester. My massive water bottle that weighs like
a weapon.
A ton. Yeah. Oh yeah. You could kill someone with that thing. My wife hates this water bottle. It's hilarious. But I went back to the hotel. I iced it. And I didn't want to interrupt her conference, so I waited till she got home, and I texted her and said like, hey, when are you going to be back? And she said she knew something was wrong right when I texted her that. So she had to take me to urgent care and all that. That was fun.
Did you know it was broken?
No, I was genuinely like, this is a bad sprain. I'm like, there's no way. I mean, I fall like that and catch yourself on your wrist. Like you do that every day when you skateboard.
Yep.
Like I was like, there is no way. And I've broken bones before skateboarding. I hyperextended the left elbow and now the left wrist. I was blown away. I was like, there's no, and they said 3 places. I was like, I couldn't believe it. But again, like back to the community thing, like I was terrified. I was like, I'm about to be a dad. I'm not going to be able to stream for a while.
Yeah. And
like people were amazing. Like I would play the game and half-assedly play the game and people were still incredible and wanted to watch. And you know, it was pretty amazing to see the community rally behind me in that time when I needed them, you know.
Nice.
They were freaking great.
That is awesome. Now, when it comes to skating, isn't the best feeling when you just drop in on a half or a pool and you can just carve? I love that feeling, that just dropping in.
Yeah, I mean, well, you mentioned you surf, so that makes sense. I never got into surfing.
Well, I
went
don't
once.
surf. My wife got me surfing lessons, I think, when I was 30 or 40, and it was
Uh-huh.
so much fun. But like, I have snowboard, I skate. But when I
Yeah,
skate,
I used to snowboard a lot. Yeah.
when I was younger, I was a BMXer because that was just what sucked me in, and all my friends were skaters. So
Hmm.
when we would go to the skate park, no bikes were allowed, so I'd have to learn how to skate. So really, just
Yeah.
minis and whatnot. But it was just
I mean, I
so
love a
much
mini
fun.
ramp.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say one thing that I've gotten into more recently is like I do love just like pumping around like a bowl, and
Yeah.
I'm not great at it, especially front side, but like it's so much fun just to drop in and just maintain speed and gain speed and just cruise. And so FDR, do you know FDR in Philly?
No.
You would have seen like Bam Majera skate there in like CKY videos and stuff. It's just a DIY park under, I think, I-95, and it's just all concrete and just cruising.
Wow.
And like it's basically snowboarding. Like when you go there, I can't do anything. Everything's too big for me to like even do an axle stall on, and the mini ramp is too big for me. But I just love to just cruise around that and just try to do a route around the park and just keep it going without pushing. It's so fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
And now, growing up, who were your skaters that you liked?
And Andrew Reynolds was huge for me. My name is Andrew, so I think I just kind of picked up on him in Tony Hawk Pro Skater just because of that. But like Rodney Mullen is like, he's just the legend. Like he invented skateboarding.
Yeah.
Like he invented every freaking trick. I'm trying to think who else. There was like a Birdhouse video, The End, that I was really into.
Yeah.
So like everybody on there, whose names I'm just blanking because it's been so long. The Yeah Right video was awesome. What was that guy whose name started with an A? He was so punk rock. I can't remember his name, but he was great to watch.
Like, are we talking one of the first guys like Tony Alva or?
No, I'm just thinking about that Yeah Right video.
Oh,
there was this one guy in it that was like, he used to like drop in on like a concrete wall that was like this wide and like crazy steep, and he would just roll down it like a maniac. I'll remember his name when when we're done, but I mean, I watched because back then it was like DVDs and VHS.
Right.
You know, you weren't just searching skateboarding in YouTube and seeing, you know, Nigel Houston or like Andy Anderson or Braden Hoban. I really love right now. That guy, that kid is awesome, and he's creative. Everyone in these competitions do the same shit. He does different shit. I love him.
I do.
Yeah, I mean, you just watch the DVD your buddy had.
Right.
So The End, I watched that on repeat. You know.
I love seeing these, like you were just talking about, guys who are creative, just do stuff you don't see on a skateboard, you know, just crazy flips or just combos into some other things. It's just so cool to see.
Well, not only that, but like in SLS, like the way they judge tricks, it's just everybody's doing like, and it's cool to see a couple of times, but everyone's just like doing a flip trick into a grind down the rail. And it's like, there was a recent one in, Brazil, I think, and they had like a 30-foot rail with 2 kinks in it. And I was like, I cannot wait to see somebody grind this entire rail. And Braden Hoban was the only one who risked it because it's too risky.
Right.
And I get it. Like, you're there to win and you got to, you know, compete. It's like, it's almost like compare it to like DayZ. Like, people camp during events because it's risky to run out in the open. You're going to get spotted and get shot. However, I did that during Lights Out, and it worked out pretty well while everyone else was camping. But, you know, like, it's just too risky. So all these skaters are just doing the tricks they know they've got on lock. And it's just like, I've watched like several SLSs, and I'm like, I couldn't tell the difference. Everyone feels the same now, you know? Yeah. But
and
you know.
Speaking of podcasts, have you watched the one with Tony Hawk and Jason Ellis with Rodney Mullen?
No. Wait, is that, you sent me a link? I was looking through. I gotta check that out.
That is because if you like Rodney Mullen, I love. He's so quirky. He's so amazing. Out of the box.
Weird.
Yeah. He was talking about how he's doing a demo in Texas and in a mall, and just before the demo, some kid gave him a bracelet, a little wire bracelet, and he was saying as he was doing one of his hyper spins or super spins, mega spins, he felt his wrist, like something jab his wrist, but he didn't stop. He kept spinning. And then when he stopped, there was blood everywhere because the bracelet cut his wrist. And like he said it was like a, you know, one of those in a mall where you got like all the perfumes, everything was white, but now it's all sprinkled in red because yeah, it was just like,
Jesus.
and telling you how Rodney could tell a story, you know, it's just, definitely recommend
I saw
that.
him on the Physics Girl YouTube channel explaining why the impossible is called the impossible.
Yeah.
Which I never knew. Like, it's really, really interesting. It's just like impossible to flip the board in that way.
Yeah.
The way that the physics works, it does a half turn during it. So you had to keep it on your foot in order to force that movement. And I'm just like, that is just insanely cool.
Yeah.
Because he's like a physics nerd. That's how he got so good at skating, is because he would almost do the math as he was, skating. So
yeah, amazing guy, man.
Yeah.
Definitely recommend that bot. All right, hey, well, you made it to the end. Really appreciate you coming on. Hopefully, it wasn't too painful.
No, it was genuinely a pleasure.
Excellent.
I just checked the time, and I'm like, shit, I gotta go. But
all right,
I had a blast, man. Thank you for having me.
Before you go, though, I need you to shout out somebody who you think would have a good story to come on in your circle.
Okay, so somebody who hasn't been on,
right, in your circle or your community, somebody you think would have a good story. Like you mentioned somebody I'd never heard of. Somebody.
Oh, OG. I mean, OG would definitely be a great guy to have on. But my other suggestion was going to be Muller. Muller would be cool. He has been like he's a great streamer. Yeah. But he came up like since I started.
Oh, nice.
But OG, I mean, like OG, I've been watching since I've been watching Twitch.
Oh, wow.
And he is like, he was one. It's funny that he and Joito are two people that I play with the most because they are so, I don't know how to say it in a way that doesn't sound mean because I love these people, but like not in your face, but like just they're not going to take shit. And they're going to give you shit. So I was like afraid to play with them. I was like genuinely like afraid to team up with them for the first time. And then they're just like the easiest people to talk to once you're playing with them. But yeah, OG would be great. I think Muller Yogurts would be great.
All right.
If I have to give you something to give him shit about, since somebody told you to give me shit about Ish sliders, the man doesn't like cheese.
He doesn't like cheese.
He doesn't like cheese.
Okay.
Never mind. He's a lost cause. Don't have him on the podcast.
All right.
Sick in the head.
Well, thank you for coming on, and thanks, good luck to you for the rest of the year.
Yeah, right back at you. Again, thanks for everything, and people like and subscribe to Tarducks,
There we go.
and comment and all that shit.